All right, we're gonna make this Christmas tree. We're gonna start with 2 longest string. All right, so you put in the loop, and then you just take this out. All right, make sure your end is exactly the same length. We'll do the same thing to the other one. Right, so you have those 2 pieces, and then normally I would have flip it over, and then what I'm gonna do is from the middle, I'm gonna use the third one as the stationary line. You can always pause this video and then watch it, and then I'll go over and we'll just tie the knot. Each one you go twice. So if you realize I'm holding this stationary line straight the entire time, okay, so you can always go back to make it a little bit better. So right now it's gonna be something like this, straight. And then now I'm gonna do this, the third line, that will be stationary. So I'm going to go this 1 time, and then oops, 1 time, and then twice. I don't know if that was in the video. Twice. Okay, that's what it look like right now. And then we're gonna do the same thing. All right, so now I'm gonna use the third one again. Before we do that, actually, we're going to add our line, okay? So the other 2 long lines, we're gonna do a loop. Okay, so loop, and then that will be the out layer one. This out layer, and then I do a loop, and then that goes through. So I'm adding this extra line right here. Okay, the extra, and then we're gonna do the same thing, the other side, a loop, the outside, and then I'll get this over. Right, again, it's adding this. Okay, now we're gonna have 4 and 4. Okay, so once we have 4 and 4, we could just start working on the 4 on the left and 4 on the right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna work the 4th one, that will be stationary line, and then the rest I'm just going to do the knot. Again, 4th one is the stationary for the left side. Each one we go twice. All right. So it's the left side. Now we'll do the fourth one. We'll do the same thing on the other side. You can perhaps put this down. You know, I just like to hold it. It probably is easy to make it stable on a board or something like that, but I kind of just do this. Again, each one, do it twice the loop, okay, and the last piece. And once we have this finished, all right, let's see. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it kind of like they're strict. So this is basically the top of the Christmas tree. Right now we'll do the square knot. So we're gonna get rid of the rest of the line. We're just working on the 4 in the middle. Right. So the 2 in the middle, square knot. Then we'll do the square knot. We'll finish the square knot, and then we'll have something like this. Okay, and then you're just going to, now we have this 4 after square knot, and then 4 4. Again, you're just going to start with this side and then stationary, and then you do like this. The rest of them just rub on it. Right, each time after this, make sure you leave some space, okay, some piece of space. So I'll do the next one, and then leave some space right here, because then you look like you have a layer of the tree. Okay, then do the next one. Okay, so now we have something like this. You do the same thing on the right side. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the right side. Again, the fourth one, this half is the stationary, the one right here, from the counting from the right side, the fourth one, basically in the one in the middle. That would be the stationary. So we're going to leave that side for a minute, and then we'll just put it, make it, do this pretty quick. It's kind of like a second layer of the Christmas tree. So if you look at this, I have some space between, and then we can just now just remember each time you got to add the next layer. So in this case, we're going to grab the next longest cord. We're going to add those cord on it. So do the same thing as the out layer, outside the line. I'm gonna add those. And then I'm going to add the other side as well. Let's just remember the end has to be the exactly same length when you fold this in the middle. And then you go over the loop, right? And then you pull it out. And then you make it tight. Okay. So now we're gonna continue. The idea is exactly the same. We're gonna have a half-half, and then the one in the middle is gonna be the stationery. We're gonna do this side, and then we'll do the other side stationery. Okay, I'll do this very quickly. So those two, always you want to make it as tight as possible. Only after the square knot is the one you want to leave a space. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So I finish on the left side. I'll put all the string on the side, and then again, this is gonna be the one stationary, and then I'll put everything else on it. Just make that knot. Each time you do twice. One, two. Almost down here. It's just a really repetitive process. So just remember, you gotta remember which one's stationary. See, I never changed this one. This one's always, they're all straight. And the last one, you put it up. And then again, remind myself this is the one, had to be straight. And then look at the rest, and now I have this right here. See, I have two layers. You do the same thing, and then now we're going to do the square knot. All right, so square knot. So be careful. You want to make sure all the rest of stuff, I'll put them on the side. Ignore them. You only work on the, there's 4 in the middle. So there's a square knot, and then we just repeat the process. Okay, so this is from the square knot, and from the middle, this is gonna be your stationery for the left side. Then that's what we're gonna work on first. We're gonna just rub it on top of it. So it's just a repetitive process, and then remember, you want to leave a little bit of space because you want to show the layer. I'm always holding that stationary line so I can keep it straight. Okay, you can do the same thing. You finish the right side, then add the string right here, because this is the first layer. Like the first layer is always gonna add another line on top of it, but we're just gonna finish the right side and come back to add it. Okay, so again, there's the one in the middle. That will be the one we're gonna stay here. The rest of the stuff we're just going to wrap on top of it. I don't have the right equipment to record this. This kind of is for my friend. Maybe in the future I'll make some more professional ones. Alright, so almost there. So you remember, leave some space. And then I'll keep this straight. And then last one. Okay, so this is what it look like. And then as you can see, the layer, now you realize, see, each time we're gonna add, if I don't add this, it's gonna be really kind of strange looking tree. So that's why we're gonna add this. The next longest string, so that will be adding it outside. All right, loop and take it out. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So now we have the half. Once we have half, and then the one in the middle, this one in the middle, that will be working on the left side, and this one will work on the right side. Okay, all right. You can stop this tree anytime if you think it's big enough for you, and you know, I'll show you a couple more layers. And then if your string got too short, you can always stop this layer, and then I'll tell you in a little bit what to do. If you can always skip some layers if you want a smaller tree. I hope you can hear me talking, but I talk pretty quiet. If you can't hear me, it's totally fine. You just look at what I'm doing. Alright, so if you look at this, that's down. So we're going to keep everything on the left side, a bit down, and then I'll work on the right side. Again, this is the one on the right side, the first one. Okay, and then that will be the stationery. Everything else should just wrap on top of this. Okay, I have one, and then I'll do the next one. Always keep the other stationery line just straight. Always keep it straight. My tree is a 2mm string, or the yarn, whatever you call it. All right, so let's do one more square knot. It's very repetitive stuff. All right, one more square knot. If you don't know how to do the square knot, just maybe you can just type it in the Google and then ask, you know, how to do square knot. It's pretty simple stuff. Now we're gonna have this again. This will be in the middle. So if you look at this, two come out. So one is this side and one is that. So those from the square knot in the middle, that will be the one stationary line. Then we'll just do again, because I have a lot of string left. Also, I want my tree a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna do really quick. Right. So remember, leave a little bit of space. That way you can see these kind of layers of a tree. This one, okay, big one. All right, so that's a lot of pretty big layer. Okay, and once we have this, okay, we're gonna add the shortest one. Again, you can finish it, then add, but I'm just gonna add right now. Add this, the shortest, and then right here. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the other side. So this is gonna be, again, that'll be stationary. Everything else will just go through and do the same thing. We're almost done. Right, so always remember, this should be everything should be nice. And this one's always straight. Okay, and then this side, remember this is the same length, and then don't forget you gotta add this last piece, the shortest, and then add this. All right, to make sure it look pretty good. All right, then what we're gonna do is, okay, so for the left side, we're going to, before we do the left side, let's go ahead and do this square knot in the middle. Okay, in the middle is a 4-piece in the middle, square knot, quite simple. Okay, so right side loop. So I put this, the one in the middle. Okay, loop like this. And then this goes in here. Okay, now we have the left side loop. And then right side will go in. Okay, that is our squirt knot right there. Okay, once the squirt knot is done, let's go back here, the left side. So we're going to use this, okay, use this as the stationary line. We're not moving this, and then we're just going to wrap this the rest. Earlier we used that as a stationary, okay? And then now we're going to use the closest one to wrap on it. So you want to have this nice corner. Okay, you can see that. So you don't want to pull the stationery too much because you want to have this nice corner. You want to pull a little bit, but not too much. See, like a nice corner, so that way you have the tree look like a branch. And then you just use the next closest one. And then we're just going to do the same thing from the left side until the squirt knot. Okay. I like to leave a little bit space naturally, a little bit space. That way the tree doesn't look kind of too strange. You know, it's up to you. Of course, if you don't like to leave any space, that's fine. You can make them really close, but I just like to do that. Okay. See, what I'm trying to do is right there, a little bit space right here, just naturally. It's up to you. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. All right, so I'm gonna finish up that. I want that natural curve right there. And then it's really close to my square knot is the square knot, the out layer. I'm not going to do the one in the middle. The middle, so I'll show you. The middle, those two in the middle, I'm just going to leave it there, okay? Because I'm just going to put it inside my tree trunk. Going to make a little bit adjustment. Yep. So that's it. I'm going to stop right there. So again, the one in the middle, I'm not going to wrap it on it. The right side, remember we said from the out layer, and there's the last one. That's the one we're going to use as a stationery. So then the next closest one, I'm just going to make that knot. And then I don't pull it too much. I want to have a little bit curve, natural corner sort of thing. All right, so then I'll just keep going. See, I'm holding this stationary line. So that way I know which one we're going to use. So to keep me not messing up. I leave a little bit natural space. See natural space right there. Okay, all right, so double check. One in the middle, I didn't use them. I'm just gonna put it inside my tree trunk. So this is what it look like. Okay, all right, and then now the last step. So you can pick really up to you. You can pick 4-piece, okay, like those two in the middle. See the one, the stationary line, stationary line, and the two in the middle. Okay, I like to use the 6 of them. I pick one more on each side. Basically the middle 6. That's the line I'm gonna use. I'm gonna flip this over. That will be my tree trunk. So you just cut another line. You could use half of the string or the whole thing. Yeah, I'll just use the whole thing. So, okay, be the loop. I'm gonna put this from the top, and then I'll make a loop right here. Not crazily big, but you know, like right here. And then I'm going to hold my hands really close to it, and then I'll just rub around. You can make a little bit extra long for this. It's really, you know, probably around 15-inch or something. That should work good. You want to tie it as tight as possible. Okay, so neatly, that's what I'm doing. It's pretty tight and neat. So I want to do extra until to the length that you think that's what you like. All right, so I think for me, that's a good length for the tree trunk. Probably one more. Okay, and then the end I'm gonna put inside this loop. Okay, don't let your hands go yet, because if you look, they're all there. Okay, then I'm going to pull this, the one on the top, and then I'm gonna pull this in, and then in the end I'll just pull both sides. This should be a really snuggle. Right, now cut this. Remember, you gotta pull the both strings really strong. Okay, the other one I'll just leave it there because I'm gonna cut it anyway. To the tree trunk, I'll just leave this piece here. If this is too short, it's kind of like sticking out or something, you can cut it pretty close. It's totally fine. It wouldn't come off if you did it right away. And then this just a clean up. I'll just cut the tree trunk around this length. It's really up to you. Alright, so then I'll cut the rest of them something. You can start with 1 inch and see if you guys like it. So something around 1 inch, I guess. I'm using a baby scissor. Okay. Okay, that is the Christmas tree, right? Of course, it's a personal preference. You can always make it a little bit more same length and nicely. Let me just do this really quick off the camera. Okay, and then for some people, they just want to leave it like this. Okay, or some people, they say like, oh, this is a little bit too long, or they want to take this apart. They want to just make this come off, like more fluffy looking, so you can do that. Or you can always, you know, make it shorter. But just be careful, you don't want to make it too short, then you kind of, you know, once it's short, you can obviously make it longer, but anyway. So just this is for my cat. Again, this video is not professionally done. This is just for my friends. I thought I might just post it here. Alright, so once you do this, you can always cut more to make it nicer. See, once you do this, kind of the length is weird. Alright, I'm gonna use the baby scissor to do this. Alright, so that is the Christmas tree, and then you can just use whatever the string, whatever you like, and then hang it up. And I always like to use a little bit shiny one, I think, but you can, this is the one I use. I bought it. Okay, so I'll just pick part, and then I'll just put it over, and then of course that will be personal preference. I just make a knot, and then the length you like, and then cut it. Okay, so that will be my Christmas tree. Right here, if you want to cut it shorter, you totally can. I think I like it the way it looks right now. Okay, all right.